Hey everybody, I wanted to bring you something that I have changed in my life immediately following the aftermath of Hurricane Helene in this area. Something that I lacked as far as my preparedness, something that I have immediately addressed, and something I am able to now utilize to still help people who have no way to communicate with loved ones. And I'll also tell you something solid that Elon Musk just did related to what I'm going to show you. So, unfortunately, natural disasters happen. And some of us prepare more than others. Some utilize disasters to evaluate what they've done right, what they totally missed out on, and what they can address immediately. For me personally, one of the biggest things that affected not only my house, my family, but this region, and is still affecting it here in East Tennessee, is the immediate loss of all communication that relied on something digital. Telephone gone, cell towers gone, internet gone, buildings gone. It's really bad, and we're on a third week. It's an absolute disaster down there. 5 miles from where I'm sitting as the crow flies, there are people who have lost everything. So what did I do immediately? Obviously, I run a couple businesses actually, and communication's key. So I had no way to communicate in the immediate aftermath, nor did anybody else in this region. So what I did was I went out and made a purchase of my own money. That I didn't use any of the donations that we're using for hurricane relief. If you want to donate to the hurricane relief victims here in East Tennessee and in Western North Carolina, my PayPal's down below. Also, Grindstone Ministries link to donate is down below. They're boots on the ground 24/7 around the clock, doing God's work. And I'll still say this, 3 weeks later, it's still Americans helping Americans. The federal government is, they've left people ass out. But this is what I've done immediately. So I went to Harbor Freight and I bought their knockoff Pelican case. It's called Apache. Some of you people are familiar with it. This is the 4800 series, the size, and it's TSA safe if you want to use this for other things, if you want to use tools to travel with. But what I did was I bought, let's see if I can open this. One of them's tough because it's kind of compressed good. I bought a Starlink Mini. Now, for those who are not aware of what Starlink is something launched by one of Elon Musk's companies, SpaceX, and they have a bunch of satellites, and they this past week they had another launch where there was another, 60 satellites or so put up, and Starlink is able to bring satellite internet to you instantly, and there are very few spaces around this country that it doesn't work. And you can bring it around. It's around the world. Hopefully you heard the headlines of Elon working with people who had catastrophic destruction come upon them in different areas of the world, where he moved satellites in so people would have immediate communication, so they could communicate with loved ones around the world, FaceTime, email, whatever, and say, hey, we're okay. So I bought one. The Starlink Mini. This is it right here. It's all-in-one design. It has the router inside. All you need to do is supply power to it. It'll immediately connect with the satellites, and you have fairly fast internet in the middle of nowhere. You've done any research on this? There are people who are as remote as you can get, like in the mountains, and they get phenomenal internet when there's no signal for anything else for miles and miles around. So how did I use this initially? Well, I just got it a couple days ago, if I'm honest with you, but I did set it up out here, turned off my Wi-Fi in the house, which thankfully is now restored. But I was able to download and upload rapidly, watch videos. I was able to email, send text messages, do FaceTime, all of that through the Starlink satellites that SpaceX and Elon Musk have put into our atmosphere. So what do I plan on doing? Well, first off, how am I powering this? It comes with a very long cord and a house plug, a typical, 110, 120 house plug. So you can use it in a couple ways. You can plug it into a generator for power. You can use an inverter in your car. It has to have a clear view of the sky. And how am I going to utilize this now that we have our internet back up and I can communicate? I'm going to utilize this and do, like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, like pop-up internet cafes, where I'm going to go right down to the river here, the Nolichucky River, to people who've lost everything, including their homes, some of them, their families. I was talking with one person who there were 12 people in that home, and that was the only survivor. And that stuff, it's heavy, man. It's heavy. And so I want to bring this to the people and just sit around for a few hours while they can talk to family and friends. And from what Starlink says, 128 connections could go onto this one device simultaneously, so we can help a lot of people. How am I powering it? Well, I also purchased their USBC cable. It has a barrel connection that goes into the back of the Starlink Mini, and then everybody knows what USB-C is. And with that, this bee is I'm trying not to kill you. Go away. I got an Anchor power bank. Go away. It's 27,650 milliamp hours. It is a powerhouse. It's rapid charges as well. And from all of my research I've done online, you can run this Starlink from 3 to 5 hours, depending on how heavy you're pushing it. I also have another battery, a portable power station that I purchased. I'm waiting for its delivery. And you can see that picture here. It's the EcoFlow River 2 Pro. And it's a much bigger battery. I can run this for 5 to 8 hours from the research I've seen. And I can also plug that into 12 volt in my car or generator locally and run it indefinitely. You can also plug in one of their, they have solar cells. I can plug it in and run it indefinitely. So that's what my next thing to do is to help people with communications, because there are still people struggling. Little vent here. If you didn't, hopefully you saw what I put out on socials. Glenn Beck was out with a congressman in the disaster area and confronted FEMA and asked them why they weren't in a prominent location and how people were supposed to know they were there. If people have no internet, no cell phones, they can't watch TV and news because there's no electricity. And FEMA was just like a barrel of monkeys. They didn't know anything. They just terrible, horrible in what they're doing to the people out here. The lack of performance, I'd say. Well, I encountered them here. I heard through the grapevine that they were at Jonesboro Elementary School, which is 3 miles from my house. So I drove down there, and there is no FEMA van outside. There's a Red Cross van and a tent out front where you can get some bottled water. But I asked, there was a trooper there, Tennessee Highway Patrol, and I said, "Hey man, is FEMA around?" He said, "Yeah, they're inside in the library at the lower level." So I went down and basically asked them, like, how are people supposed to know you're here? And when are you going to go out into the community and help people? And told them some areas that I had been working in and around for days, that these people, need help, all kinds of help, which is one of the reasons we're doing what we're doing, donating goods and money and stuff like that. Thank you to the generous donations of my viewers. But they just they were just, I don't know, not good at all. We all know where their money went, and if you didn't know, then do a little research on your own end. But what I plan on doing now is utilizing this Starlink, as a backup here, so that I will always have communication capability for not only my businesses, but myself, my family. God forbid something bad happens here and I need to communicate with people back home, family. I can do that. And now I'm going to bring it into, a Good Samaritan type mission where I'm going to help people connect with their loved ones, because there are still some areas where there is no communication other than shortwave radio and Starlink. Like 911 systems gone. You can't just call the cops because everything's gone. Can't just call fire. Can't just call EMS. And this works up to 100 miles an hour. So you can put it in, mount it on the top of your vehicle, or throw it in your dash, And this will work up to 100 miles an hour. I'm going to test certain mileage. I will stay within the legal parameters of the road. So I'll test that too, but there are people testing it online doing 60 miles an hour, and internet is very fast. So that's what I'm doing. Guys and gals, don't forget the people in Appalachia. I know the people in Florida got hit a second time with Milton, and my heart and prayers are with them, and I'm going to try to maybe do some stuff for them as well. But the news cycle has switched. You're not hearing the truth. You never heard the truth of what happened here. And there's some other stuff going on that you're going to hear soon. That's not good. Another ball dropped by the federal government. But just want to give you a quick update. Sunday here. I just got out of church, and there's some things that have been weighing on my heart and mind. And one of them is I got to help people any way I can, and this is a solid way to do it. Let me know. Give me one thing that you got right during your preps if you were affected by these storms, and one thing that you got wrong, or watching what has happened from afar. Maybe you live in Oregon. One thing that you might change in your preparation because of what you saw happen here in the mountains or down in Florida and the stretch in between. I love y'all, really, because of you and your support of what we do here. The G&G militia has been able to help a ton of people in need at their lowest, at their worst, and hopefully get them to smile and let them know that we care. Americans helping Americans is the way it's always been. It's the only way that we go forward, because government ain't helping, guys. So thank you so much. I appreciate y'all, really, from the bottom of my heart. We've raised a lot of money, and it grabs me right here. So thank you so much. We still got some work to do. We've got a lot of work to do here. These people won't have, in the mountain right there, that mountain I mentioned before, they're not going to have electricity and heat on that mountain for 4 to 5 months. And it's been in the 30s in the mountains the last 3-4 days. So I love y'all. Be safe. Stay vigilant. Carry a gun. Especially now. Take care.